Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Exploring the Community podcast. Of course, my name is Emerald, and I'm here with my friend Gamerboy R. And today, we take a chance at exploring some servers that can be both good and bad, yet weird altogether. This is an interesting one. Today, we are exploring a server entitled CreeperCraftMC, claiming to be a quest-based server for survival, which then leads you on into survival with realistic aspects. Seems pretty interesting. All right.
It is a very interesting server.
It is very unique.
I am excited for this one. I really am.
Oh, yeah. So, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So, first things first, let's talk about gameplay. So, it's very nice to, when you first log on the server, it puts you straight into this roleplay aspect. And you already have two sets of quests to follow. It even gives you, items to start out with, and even, fake money, and you even get tons of levels of experience, which I think I had like 90 levels when I was done with it all.
Yeah. You know what that feel gave me? It gave me for some reason, now I could be totally wrong, but it gives me that Legend of Zelda vibe to it, don't you? Like, you have to go around and start exploring, which is basically a lot of roleplay games, but specifically being out in the middle of like nowhere, going into a town kind of thing. That's kind of the same as like even like Ocarina of Time.
I mean, it was just kind of nice to it felt like a World of Warcraft kind of thing where you kind of went on and you were immediately immersed, which is something that's very nice.
Haven't really played a lot of World of Warcraft, but I think I know what you're talking about, and I thought there was another game that was similar to that.
Might be tons of different games, similar to
there's tons. It's okay. It's going to take too long to think of that one. Yeah. I'll be able to tell you later.
But I mean, to be fair, now getting more critiquing than anything. The quests as a whole, let's go ahead and just talk about them. They're very nice. So your first quest line to focus on, out of the two, is called, I think it's called either The Very Beginning or Your Big Day or something like that. Pretty much.
I thought it was Your Big Day.
I think it is Your Big Day. Pretty much it gives you like this thing of you're about to go into the world by yourself. It gives you that whole aspect and feeling of it, to where pretty much like your mom is like, here's some free armor, here's things to really, put you out into the world, which I think is a very, very awesome way to start a survival experience.
If it was like you, because I can't have shaders, but if I had shaders, it would immerse me more in the world itself even more, and make it really feel as though you are just jumping into a secondary world, if that makes sense. Because some people feel that way about gaming with RPG type of games, is that you can kind of get lost in the game because it's so real. That kind of thing.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you there. And the thing is that now that there's an official 1.14.3 version of Optifine, and now all my stuff starts to sway, it really makes me wish that with 1.14.2 I had that full ability of shaders. That's a client-side thing. That's not a server thing that we could really blame it on.
You're really excited about the shaders, aren't you?
Oh, it's just nice. It's just nice to have, especially in a role play aspect of a server. And continuing on with this, so the quests, basically have you just running around clicking NPCs, which is very basic. And then you also have your second quest line, which of course is another NPC one, but you only have two quests in there. And it pretty much just tells you about one of the plugins, and we're going to get a little bit detail about that in just a little bit. But for a quest system to start off with, I do wish there was more.
But there also are a lot of other stuff added to. When you first start out, you understand a couple of other things a couple of other aspects to the game that adds on to it. I mean, like being able to, um, like being able to be sick, or being able to, just those things.
Yeah.
That's another plugin.
That's immediately tapping into MC MMO and diseases and such, which are the two main plugins that they have, and they're really also trying to make it more merciful. I think just recently they also added X weather, which gives you times where it's like very windy, or even in times where it could be even more intense thunderstorms, or even potentially, probably the extreme side, probably more like tornadoes or even hurricanes.
Yeah, but in the thing about like specifically the disease plugin is that it makes the game vanilla, but more hard, like more difficult, with a more difficult challenge to it, because you can get like the common cold, or you can get measles, or you could get a broken leg, or those things. Those things that you have to watch out for, so that you don't accidentally just completely kill your player, kill your avatar.
Sinks you into it, and even like when you die, as a countermeasure to that, it does carry over your disease, which is somewhat of a nice touch. But again, that's also like a thing of, if you die, I think you should have a reset to your disease. That is just me, but I get the whole immersive kind of thing that they're trying to go for.
Yeah, and it really does feel like you are in the game by this, and it's like I said, that the whole RPG aspect of it made it feel real, but plus the disease stuff, it has its good and bads.
Oh yeah.
The good about it is it makes it feel more realistic, but the bad thing is you have to always be cautious in this server, because you have to watch out for those things. You can't stay out in the rain for too long. You can't like go out in snowy weathers or windy weathers without like a campfire, which makes it. I think it kind of brings gives you a reason to make a campfire in the first place, because you need warmth. So that was kind of good on them, I think.
Absolutely.
I think that was very clever on their part. But with the server itself, it's all good and everything, but it's just one of those things that it only goes so far when you start off, and I mean like the aspect of what the quests they give you, and where you go from there, because you're like, oh well, here's all this wonderful things, and I gotta worry about weather and stuff, but then it's just like, here, do these couple of quests and poof, it's over. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I do wish there was more quests.
Yeah, me too. I think that they could add on to it, and I hope they do. I mean, there's so many different ideas that you could do with that, and personally, even I've said this to you before, that they should have those, what would you call the NPCs, I guess. Yeah. I wish that those NPCs would have more that you could do with them. Like, they give you a book with help, or the nurse gives you a book with how to take care of problems, like health problems.
I personally wish there was more interaction with NPCs that we didn't even get to talk to, but they're there. Like, there's some of them that I wish we knew more about them. Like, I even think the starting story of having Penny, which is the NPC that you start out with me, as your big sister, I think even that's a little lackluster. Like, I wanted more of a thing where you kind of have to go through a training quest kind of thing. And, we brought this idea to the owner, and herself kind of really said, that's not really kind of what we're looking for, because players don't want to go through how the game works. But I mean, you're throwing in things like weather X and diseases and MMO. I mean, it would be nice to even going out for that big day to have a little boost in your MMO stats or in your disease knowledge of knowing how to craft a splint or knowing how to craft bandages and things like that. I mean, there's so many things, so much things you can do with that quest line that I hope whatever the owner does or whatever the staff team does, they take it in the direction that is good and doesn't ruin the natural story progression of the server.
Yeah, and I still think that it's like I said, with the not just with the quest, but it just everything in its general aspect could be added on to. But at the same time, I understand the difficulty that could bring, especially if you were to be doing a lot of the stuff like around all like by yourself or something like that, that can be kind of challenging. Or even if it's like 2 people or 3 people, still yet, where a server like that, you have to know how to do all that, which me personally I don't, which is why I'm speaking like this, because I really don't know how the coding stuff works for plugins and stuff like that, but it must be pretty difficult and time consuming, and sometimes annoying.
Yeah, that's fair, but I mean, like I said, I physically typed in my notes with quest lines and everything there. You have it there, you have your resources. You just need to make sure that whatever free time you're having, you need to put it in there and pretty much work on it and finite your server. Now, I get real life things and I get things like that, but realistically, that is something to where if I was a new player again and I realized that the quest line was only 7 quests long, then I would think that in a way that the advertising almost was a lie to me.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically what this all does, though. I mean the server here in general. Mm-hmm. It's like here's these quests that you have to do. There's a couple things, and then you go back and forth between. There's a city and a town. The town, you start in like a little town.
Yeah, you start in the countryside. I think that's what they call it, and then you work into the town.
Yeah. Again, if you wanted to think of it like Ocarina of Time, because that's the game I grew up on that game, but also I've just been really enjoying that recently. But it's like you start off in a little village yourself, and then you work your way to this big city, and you have to go do all these things. Except this server makes you have to go back and forth between them to do things. But after that, it's just right after that ends, it goes right into survival. And then it's like, well, you're done, and go have fun, They give you everything you need, which, to me, I don't know. It's just, some of the, I don't know, like, I think it's nice that they give you stuff and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they were able to, to help you, but I don't know how I feel about that or not. Like, if I really think that they should do that. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, personally, I'm a big fan of if you want to make your server unique, go ahead and by all means, start with tons of additional things. But do not just abruptly end the quest line and then make it just, survival with land claims. It's not even factions like some people want. It's just survival with land claims and all the harder plugins. It's more of a hardcore survival without the hardcore, I guess I should say.
Yeah, you're basically, as like I said, it's basically a survival with extreme measures like measures like having to deal with weather and stuff like that, which makes it challenging, but also, and makes it also fun, but at the same time can just make it so annoying. Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to um it's hard to kind of be right in the middle. It's good, it's bad, it's has its up and downs. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I've never really done it with a plugin like that before, so that's new to me.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember. But I don't think I've ever had a server that has these extreme stuff. Now, like things like what am I trying to? What is like a Minecraft, like a zombie world, like Minecraft Z kind of thing. That they have those kinds of plugins, but I don't think they've ever been that like extreme necessarily, unless I've missed some of those servers. They have like a thirst bar, and they have a thing for when you get scratched by a zombie, but that's about it. They don't have like all the weather and stuff like that.
I mean, I think it's great though that it does complicate it a little bit, because it does put a twist on survival, which is something that does make the server fit in the unique that we're looking for. I just wish that it's done more. And right now, I feel like the server is, I don't like using the word, but I guess it's right now sitting on the line of mediocre in the way that they are using it, and the way that they're kind of just like, in a way, putting in diseases or just putting in MCMMO and just letting it be, instead of using it for a quest line or using it for this,
To be fair, I think they're basically like in an alpha stage like the last one, because she's basically restarted the server, so now she's doing everything over again, and it's like pretty much doing it with minimal staff makes things very difficult a lot of the times. But there's a lot of things I wish they could add on to, like, even you said this before about the money system.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that. And you're right, because you have to do only certain things to get the money. But there's... I'm sorry, am I boring you, bud?
No, I'm just getting hit from tired being last night, that's all. Anyway, go on.
It's okay. But there's not very many ways to do that kind of stuff. I mean, and tell me, you're adding points to it. What were you saying about it?
My brain just gave out too. Jesus.
It's okay.
I'm having one of those days again. Pretty much, I think that this server has just a lot to work on as a whole. And that's really all much I can really say about the gameplay. I mean, there was other things, like mystery boxes and gadgets and stuff, but it seems like it was meant to just like kind of entertain you for like 5-6 seconds, and then maybe just stick in your inventory, and you're probably never going to use it again. But I mean that's what I'm sticking around with, is that in a whole, if this is the too long didn't read version, you can take from it is that there's nothing wrong with survival, but if you choose a quest line, you should use it, and all the other things that are combined that they might promote, like their gadgets and things like that, are just simple things to entertain you for maybe 5-6 seconds, maybe kind of extend your playtime, and nothing really else. But that's just.
But it's nice that they are. Well, as far as I know, they are infinite, because I got one in the box that was. That I don't know what the purpose of it is, but I guess besides just like you said, having fun, but it makes you invisible. It's like Dracula's something.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what the name was.
And I mean, and I had a hat that was just simply an X head put on my head. So I mean, those are the things that are.
It was a W.
Was it a W or was it an X? W.
It was a W. It was a W.
I found an X somewhere, but I also added a W. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much in a whole. I think, and I know that might be a little quick, but I mean, there's not a lot of things to talk about when it comes to gameplay for the server. May it be working on right now. I think, as the server stands, if you do get on the server, you're going to enjoy your time for at least a good 30 minutes to an hour with all the quest lines and stuff, because that's how long basically it took us to do so. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in a second about the community and stuff. But definitely is something that if you're not really a big fan of just, survival with land claims, or even in general, if you don't like really survival with a twist, then this server genuinely might not be for you right now. Later on, when I know there's going to be more stuff added, that might change. But that is my final note on the gameplay aspect of everything.
Yeah, the last thing that I really have is that basically you were saying that it took like 30 minutes to an hour for you to do that quest line. Yeah, and honestly, there were three of us. I mean, it probably took 30 minutes to an hour for the three of us to do it, because we were easily able to bounce from one to the other. We had one on one end, one on the other to quickly click it and read it, and that also made it more fun. Though I would like to be able to see like a possible like group kind of thing, or because see
quest. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because see, when you clicked on the one of the people in the town or the whatever, you saw the text, but I didn't. So it was like, well, I'm missing out on gameplay, and you have to read it to me and whoever else.
Yeah.
Or, whatever, for them to know what's going on. And if there would be a way to do that, that would help a lot with the immersion, with the making things feel like you're just in the game itself, instead of having to read from somebody else or hear from somebody else about the storyline.
Yeah, there's a feature in the game, which I think we didn't touch on it, but I mean, we don't really need to. Pretty much the feature states that it's like a party feature, and in MMO games, usually with a party, only one person really has to run around an NPC, or y'all can do tons of side quests at the same time. But usually you also get chat prompts, or you also get prompts that let you know what happened or everything. And the way that this game does it, at least right now, of course it can be changed later, is I definitely hope that in the party system that they do have a group broadcast. But is there anything else we can really touch on gameplay for at all?
Not really. No, not really.
Okay.
Unless I come back to it. If I think of something, I might bring it back up.
And we might touch more about it on a section we'll have later in the podcast, but that's pretty much it for now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to touch on some, moving on to the next section, websites and other servers. This is going to be fun. So let's go ahead and talk about the main website. So the first thing I noticed about the website is that it's engine powered. So for those of you who have an engine account, hopefully that is something that piques your interest, because it's easy just to sign up on engine, taking your engine account to multiple web pages. So it's nice for those who have engine accounts. For those who don't, or have old engine accounts they don't want to use, it's kind of 50-50, because you need an engine account to then use the forums and then use all of this with a bag of chips. On the front page, I noticed there were vote buttons, and even server info and stuff was accessible through the website. I was able to find a tab for the status of the server, so I could check the website to see if it's online, and even the rules were even posted that were easily to find. The homepage has its latest updates. There is a link to a Dyn map that doesn't work, which is very upsetting in my opinion. The Dyn map, for those who don't know, it stands for dynamic map, but it's pretty much, the other thing, it was called live map or whatever. It gave you pretty much a 3D view of the map. So in a way, for an RPG server, it would be great to use that and reference map points and talk to your friends about, hey, we should go to this building over here in the town, or hey, we should go to this building or the countryside.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely for an RPG server. definitely. I mean, I like it for any server, but specifically for the RPGs, definitely you need something like that,
And
or like even a zombie map. You know what I mean, like SeaWorld.
oh yeah, I completely get you. I mean, and for this server, you know, if they're heading towards the quest and RP function of their server, if they're gonna make that their strong suit, definitely get a Dyn map and definitely make it work. That's point blank period. If you're gonna link it on the website, please make sure it works before, you know, it's just a dead link. Because at least for me, it didn't work. I don't know if it's different for other people, but for me, when I first clicked on it, it did not work.
Maybe it's just down. Maybe that's really what it is. Is it's just not working currently, and she might not be working on it right now. I mean, they have a whole lot of other projects. She's working on a totally different thing right now than probably the website. So,
excuse me. Moving on. There is a page that explains ranks for your premium ranks and all that stuff, so you can look at that. On the bottom of that page, I think on the bottom of every page, it shows how much total money was raised for the server, a raw donation button, so you do not have to buy a rank, and even some of the latest donations. So, like if you bought a rank, it shows up, or if you just simply donate to the server raw, it will show up there as well. And there's even a member list, so of all old and new members. And you can even find, you know, VIPs and VIP pluses. Of course, there's a dedicated forums with report tabs and stuff. Good on the server have a report form, a ban appeal form.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I don't really see report forms often. Ban appeals are everywhere. Report forms are like 50-50, so good on the server for that. Server, I noticed this kind of thing. I don't know if it's actually server chat, but it showed a chat that was integrated into the website, and I thought it would look like server chat because it looked like it was pulled straight from console in a way. So, I would say definitely look into it more if you are curious about the website. And they also have a screenshot gallery. Most servers don't have a screenshot gallery. Now, the screenshots on screen, if you're watching the video podcast, is not from them. I actually bought a fly rank, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah.
And went around and took pictures of everything. Of course, in the pictures, it's like raining or nighttime. That's just because of the conveniency of the server, but that did that. You know, and
you did try.
What's up?
You did try.
I did try my best.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, oh well. It's the best pictures we can get, and hey, at least there's still shaders and there's bloom, and it looks pretty. So I guess, I mean, I'm gonna ask out of curiosity, Gamer, do you have any opinions or any thoughts on the website yourself before I state mine?
I mean, not that I could think of the top of my head that I could remember. It might be one of those things I'd get back to you on as well if I feel like there's anything specific I need to add.
Okay. For me, I think the website, for its purpose, is fine. I always have a negative on engine websites because it just shows that you just took the quick way, which of course nothing wrong with taking the quick way. The quick way works, but for me personally, that's my only negative point on that. Everything else is fine, including everything else. So other thing, a part of the server, is that there are vote sites. Of course, people who don't know, vote sites are the way to get your server out there and known, and even reward players for doing so. So I have 9 vote sites here, Gamer Boy. 9 vote sites.
9.
That's impressive.
Didn't you say some of those that weren't really working though? Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember that.
For my time, 2 of the server sites are sadly not working. So I have 7 listed here, and we're going to go through all of them, of course. In casual podcast fashion, we are going to go through all 7 sites as well. I think even when I checked the website today, there were more listed, but sadly, I didn't get them. So that be that. Sorry for those who wanted exact info. But if you want to look on what vote sites they may be having now, of course, you can go to the website, which is CreeperCraftMC.net, or if you do want to just play purely on the server, it's play.CreeperCraftMC.net. All right. Vote site time. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so the first vote site that they had listed during my time of getting vote information was the website Planet Minecraft. That is probably one of the best websites to use, and it's the best way to definitely get your server out there, other than like some of the more common ones. All right, so
really, I always thought Planet Minecraft was really common.
I mean, it's a great thing to use to promote your server because everybody knows Planet Minecraft, at least.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So, the description that is stated on Planet Minecraft, this is their description. And you can, agree or disagree if it's accurate to the server. The description is stated as follows. CreeperCraft MMO was first established in 2012 and a year later renamed to CreeperCraftMC under the ownership of Donnie. Throughout the years, our server has maintained a diverse yet involved community that thrives on welcoming and supporting new players. We have recently modified the server and hope you will join us for the 1.14 update. That's all fair.
That sounds good. There's nothing really more that you need to say besides that.
I mean, that's about what the server will put out there. Until they have a storyline, then I hope they'll say, CreeperCraftMC introduces a storyline where you, an adventurer... Like, I hope it really goes into that route,
Yeah.
And it's tagged under a survival server, a mini-game server, which we really didn't understand why, a PvP server, which PvP is enabled. It's under the tag of server, funny enough. It's tagged under parkour, which we didn't really understand that one either.
Yeah, that didn't make sense either.
We also saw that it said factions. I guess.
Yeah, she's very anti-grief though. How would it be factions?
Right. There's role play, which is fair. PvE
makes sense. Makes sense.
Minecraft is one of the tags. Townie, which isn't realistically a townie, but I'll give it to you. Then the simple tag of games, and then kit is one of the tags, which I guess you technically do get a kit when you complete the quests.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Technically,
it's probably running a kit command behind the scenes that we don't see.
Yeah, but you can't do /kit or anything like that. It's not one of those kinds. It's not one of those you can do /kit and get a kit, like a default kit or anything.
Yeah. Oh, so at the time of writing these notes, Minecraft was still only in 1.14.2. Not that long ago, 1.14.3 came out. So anytime I say 1.14.2, I want to say that CreeperCraftMC just updated to 1.14.3. So you can play on your latest version of Minecraft. And no problem, no worry. All right? So we're moving on to the next one. So these top three are the most important ones. Minecraft MP. I don't know if you've heard this website before. It's pretty common for server lists as it goes.
I wouldn't know unless I was just voting. I'm kind of one of those who just doesn't necessarily pay attention to the website. That's just me. Because I'm like, all right, let's vote, let's go, and then get out of the thing and get back into the gameplay. So this is not one that... And it might be this way for a lot of these, because honestly, that's the way I am. That's probably why I won't have too much to add about the sites themselves. Just leaving that as a note for everyone and you, Evan.
So Minecraft MP, it shows 1.14.2 as the version. It probably will still state 1.14.2. It is in fact 1.14.3. This website offers a theme option. The theme set for this this server was medieval, and I said it really didn't fit the theme, due to the fact that the city is more modern.
Yeah, the city's more modern. I mean, the way you start that countryside is
medieval, rustic, maybe. but
yeah, maybe rustic.
But the city leans more towards your modern-esque style of a server. And I believe this one also has tags. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yes, it does. It also has tags. Oh, it even shows website. This is something good about this vote site, is that this also shows the website. So you don't have to go to the IP. You can actually just click the website and then explore more there. All right, let's get into some tags. So the tags for Minecraft MP for this server shows as follows. Discord, economy, events, land claim, MCMMO, PvE, PvP, ranks, and roleplay, which are all fair tags. That all fits the description of the server, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty much accurate as it's going to be.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next vote site, MinecraftServers.org, which of course is another very common vote site. I believe MinecraftServers.org shows up more than Minecraft MP. This one also shows 1.14.2 as the version. It's 1.14.3. Don't worry. So this one has tags. We're going to do tags first, and then some other stuff as well. So the tags for this one, there's only 5 of them. Tags tagged with factions, which again doesn't really line up. Minigames, which is really, again, doesn't line up. And then your PvP, PvP, and survival. And the... Oh, I forgot to talk about this on the last one. The rank for Minecraft MP for the server is 1915 out of like thousands of servers, so good job. On MinecraftServers.org, the rank for this server is 1361, which is, again, is a good job on the server.
Even better.
You know, it's even better. The description for this one is actually different than Planet Minecraft, which is the premier survival experience. We have a variety of worlds, including PvP, PvE, PvP, the End, the Nether, and premium worlds that are sure to fit any Minecrafter's taste. Join our server and become a part of our amazing community. Which I don't know why the End and the Nether is advertised.
Well, I feel like some servers don't have that. Like, I think there's a few servers who don't.
Really?
To be fair, and it does have a little more. It makes some servers harder to run because, of course, you're running a lot of stuff in the background for the Nether. You know,
yeah,
as you do, and some places might just have a shop with that stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
that be that. Pretty much.
Yeah, that be that. I'm sorry.
Moving on, we're going to go, the next vote site that they actually list on their website. The site that we found them on is Top G, which is a general gaming site. It's actually not a Minecraft focused site. So it's even harder to, push your server on that one, in my opinion. The rank on this site, it gets better, 1135. So it gets even better. The version is shown as latest, so that way they don't have to come back and fix it. This one has a lot of tags. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we got custom content, quests, unique, safe survival, GUI shop, events, grief prevention, no premium, which is kind of a lie, achievements, and cities. And it's the same description as Minecraft servers. The reason why
I'd have to have you explain, before you go into that, I'm sorry. You have to explain safe survival. That doesn't sound right either.
Safe survival, I think, in a nutshell, is pretty much where you don't have to worry about your building getting grief or your items getting stolen.
I was going to say, safe survival for what? You have a disease plug-in. I don't think it's a very safe survival.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get into no premium for a second. There are ranks to buy they don't really give you a boost in the game, well, to a degree, but there are ranks to buy, and we'll go into more in a little bit. But that's why I think no premium is kind of a tag that I think should be removed. Just my opinion.
I agree. I do agree. They do have a shop, so they should probably take that off. But maybe that'll be something they can do.
All right,
assuming they watch the video.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so the next website is called Mind Servers. So this is when we get into all like the generic server sites that I've like never heard of. It actually has an option for tagging game modes, which are tagged as farming and survival, which is fair. And then here, there's survival, and you do farm. You have to farm resources to, get better resources.
I guess you do that in every Minecraft world, though.
Yeah. The tags on this one, which I think are a bit interesting: all ages, events, anti-grief, and dedicated. Now, I don't know what the heck dedicated is supposed to mean.
A dedicated server?
I mean, maybe like like Bungie style, maybe. But even then, she's only using one server, so I don't know. And then all ages is a bit kind of because there are people who do custom chat.
What if she is dedicated?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
She's dedicated, so that's got to be the tag.
That has to be a tag, man.
It has to be. She's dedicated to it.
She is dedicated. That is a tag. Oh, bless.
Okay.
All right, so now we're here's the next one. So the next one is Mind List. Either the website's so small or she is very popular on this site. The rank on this one is 73.
Getting better and better every time.
Made the top 100 on this one. Of course, version is tagged as 1.14.2. Again, don't worry about it. It's in 1.14.3. And the tag is survival, MCMMO, PvP, and PvE, and events. Which are great one. Are great.
Those are about more. Those are probably about right.
Yes.
Compared to the other ones at the very beginning.
That's true. That is very true. I do agree with that.
What was the ones in the beginning? Like, it was survival mini games.
It was all kinds,
which made no sense.
Parkour,
factions,
like all those different ones. So this last one, very small website. I've actually never heard of this one. It's actually called MinecraftServerList.com. That is in the name. It shows a description the same as Planet Minecraft, and it does have tags. The tags are Essentials, MCMMO, World Edit, Grave Prevention, and Shopkeepers. World Edit for herself, but I mean, other than that,
the tags are basically your plugins
for that server, most likely. That's what it seems like, or for that website, excuse me.
That's interesting.
And then, the last two servers that I saw were the last two websites, MindPick servers and MC Server Status. Those were sadly non-working links, even though those sounded like interesting websites, I'm not gonna lie. So, here we go. So, I mean, that's pretty much all the vote sites. It's good that most of the vote sites are pretty uniform. I think if she was able to find a way to make them even more uniform, like all same tags, all same description, it would be even better. And I think an official banner would even do her more justice as well.
Yeah, and I feel like, though, that when you start doing all of that, this is just me, because I feel like I have this same mindset. It's like, I gotta worry about the voting sites and making a description for them, and it's just like, that's not something that you necessarily want to make your first priority,
You should do that once you're finished with everything, but yes, I can see where you're going.
Yeah, you would want to do voting sites as soon as you are, right as soon as you're finished creating everything, getting all the staff in order, and all that. And then you want to start telling people about it, but also using those vote sites to further your server forward.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to move on to the next thing listed in other servers. They have a Discord. So we, of course, both joined it. I took some notes. I don't know if you took any detailed notes of your own, but I'm going to reload.
I'm always taking mental notes.
That is fair. So this is what I took under my belt. Now, since we've been on the server, I do want to say that it has improved slightly. But, of course, we're still going to bring this up because I think this does need to be said. So, in my opinion, the Discord server was a little barren. No categories. So, the things that kind of divvy up the server for those who are watching, to where it's like, this is general, this is, community, this is, this, that, and a bag of chips and all that stuff. Those are categories. Those are the little things that put the channels and where they need to go. There was none. That's how bare of a server this was. There was only, at the time, a general chat and a chat for the music bot. And there was also only 3 voice chats titled General, PvE, and AFK. They recently just added a Bugs and Glitches chat and a Suggestions chat, which is good. But there's no PvP voice call or even just survival voice calls.
I don't know why you necessarily would want to add a PvE Discord,
right.
a channel. I don't understand what that's about. Why not just make it general? I don't know about you. Me personally, I like having 3 or 4 survival or 3 or 4 gaming channels, so that if you just, in general, you could just go into one of those instead of. See, I don't know what I don't necessarily. I should have asked and I didn't, but I just don't understand the general concept or reasoning for having a PvE server. What does that mean, and why is it there?
Yeah, I completely agree there. And for me, I guess the Discord should just. I think it should be more. I said in my notes it could be more flesh. It could have a lot more stuff to it, to where later she wouldn't have to really worry about it. But that is just me.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot that could be added to this. It is just too very, very bare. Yeah. Discord could see. I don't remember if I looked at a lot of the ranking stuff on there, if it was actually any good, if there was any ranks on there at all.
Discord, I believe I saw.
Yeah, staff and all that stuff.
I saw admin.
There's not really a way to check unless you are staff and are able to see it.
If there's any colored names, and I only really see admin or just, everyone, which is the generic basic tag for the server.
I think you and I could agree on this, is that I would have also liked to see different staffs in there, which she doesn't really want to do, I don't think, right now.
And we'll tap into that.
She's basically running it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. We took no, I think that's about all I really had to say about that.
I mean, it's a Discord server. It exists, but I think there should be more.
It's just too bare. I just think there needs to be so much more. It's not lively, it looks like you kind of half decently put it together and then said, here you go. Here's my Discord.
Definitely more.
It's important as a server owner to put love into everything that you do, from the website itself, to the server itself, to the Discord, to anything that you possibly do, even to the voting sites. You need to put love into it. You need to, make it worth looking at from an advertisement point of view.
If it correlates to your server, make it worth it. Make it look like you care about it. And that,
the question truly is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just kept cutting you off, don't I?
Question truly is, period.
Would you yourself, if you were stepping into your own server, if this is for all owners to think about, would you say, I want to join this server, or would you say, I would rather not? I know you have like a server bias, and we even later on we're going to talk about, we asked her that same question. Do you have, like, what is your opinion on your own server? Which is important, especially in this concept now of, you gotta really, you need to build something, create something in Minecraft or anything that you're willing to go into yourself. Like, if you don't like it, then you should know that they might not like it. So you have to create it with all the love that you have.
Yeah, I perfectly agree with that. And this perfectly blends into the Twitter and even the YouTube channel that she has. Her YouTube channel she does take a bit more care of because she posts updates and she posts usual things, but the Twitter is bare, basic, just YouTube updates. There's no like personal server tweets, personal owner tweets, things to where like I would really feel like I'm a part of the community with the Twitter. But the YouTube, I do feel more part of the community, but with her Twitter, I would definitely work on it, and that is just me.
Well, and I kind of watched one of her YouTube videos. Did you? I don't know if you did or not.
I watched quite a few of them actually, and they're pretty nice. They are the usual small channel uploads. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, and here's just something. This is my personal opinion about the channel. Not the channel, just the videos itself. When I watched the one of them, and it could just be that one, so you can correct me here. It just seemed like you didn't want to do it. Like you seemed like your attitude, your thinking for it, it's just like, ugh, I got to do another video to update everybody about server stuff. And maybe I'm just missing something, but I think that, I hope that you want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that you aren't doing this because somebody dumped it on you. You should want to do it because you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then I don't think that it's worth it. Like I said before, you need to be able to say that it's, well, one, it's worth being on, but also, am I enjoying this? Creating this? Doing this? Because if not, then what's the point of you doing it in the first place? Exactly. It's just going to be one of those chores that you're going to have to do in the future.
Yeah. And that's just that with the Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. It's just that. But I guess we're just going to let's go ahead and finish up the other section. This is the last thing in the other section. We're going to dedicate a segment to their shop. So their shop is integrated into the engine website. It's right there. You can click it and it goes straight into a web page. Of course, on the website, I'm just going to go ahead and do the full details of all the notes that I took into for this. You can buy ranks, mystery dust, which is what you can get mystery boxes for. You can buy in-game currency and temporary commands. There are 3 rank options. Most expensive rank being the VIP rank. But if you buy, or the VIP Plus rank, which is for $30. But if you buy the VIP Plus rank for $30, you get 30 set homes, fly, nick, skull, hat, clear inventory, color signs, sign edit, crapbook mechanics, all the gadgets, 5 shopkeepers, TPA without cooldown. What else is there? AFK kick exempt, TPA here, creative mode. I mean, there's tons of things you get for VIP Plus in general. I'm not saying you buy the most expensive one.
Yeah.
You can also buy mystery dust. Most expensive being 1,000 mystery dust for 500 points that you use for, which we'll touch on points here for a second. Points are what you get for when you vote. You actually do get some amount of points for when you vote on each site, which is good. And I think you also get in-game currency, but I didn't really notice it. In-game currency, most expensive being 5,000 in-game currency for $1 or 500 points. So you could spend $1 and get 5,000 CreeperCraft dollars. And there's also a donor shop where you can buy temporary commands. The commands last 7 days. Most expensive one, obviously, is going to be /creative for $5, $5 USD, or at 1,000 points that you get from voting. So, I think that's everything in the store. Let me just look at my notes real fast. Yeah, that's everything in the store. I think pretty much as the store stands, it's very good pricing. It's very general. It's a store.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, in my opinion.
I wanted to back up just a tad bit. Say that with the ranks, things like that, I understand how nice it could be just to have 2 ranks, like a VIP, VIP plus, but it may not hurt to even add some other things, like more ranks, and split all of the stuff you get into the sections. And I think that would help her start getting more can get more income for herself.
Yeah, economically, I think the
yes,
temporary commands is probably the smartest idea ever. But here's why I think I agree with you there, because I think you should have ranks like, like I think there should be like homekeeper, home master, something that can fly, for flying speed.
What about like role play type names?
Absolutely,
like prefixes, maybe. Nothing that gives you anything, just prefix names for being in that role play aspect, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, there's different ways to do that as well.
Yeah, and I think that obviously it would be smarter to do that if you wanted to, but also now I'm trying to think of what I said. The ranking system, but also add ranks like the RPG style things that are YouTuber, live streamer. That kind of helps with them. At the same time, you could circulate the community, and you could put stuff like just top of my head ideas. May they be good or bad? Like YouTuber ranks, you get your channel promoted every X amount of hours or days. Your channel circulates through like a Discord chat or something that says, "Hey, this person has this Twitch channel or something that you can only promote one thing. Hey, they have this Twitch channel, or they have this YouTube channel, or one of those things.
Like
you should go check them out." Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see that, and the way I would, for me, I would price that like stupid dumb cheap, like 50 cents a promotion.
I'm talking like if you didn't buy them, though. I'm just saying, like, you're a YouTuber, you create a video, that's your limit. Like, you have to do a 10, 15-minute video. How long? You're more of a YouTuber than I am. I don't do YouTube videos. So what's
Minecraft server ranks for YouTubers are 10 minutes of footage, and then for Twitch streams, it's usually around an hour to an hour and a half.
And see, that would be fair to get a YouTuber rank and you have to promote the server at the whole time. You can't just have a video, that just for that amount of time. You have to be on the server, you have to talk about the server, you have to be a part of the community for a while first. Like, like you have to be on the server for like 2 weeks, or even from 2 weeks to 2 months, and you have to do a video within this time frame, and you get the YouTuber rank.
Yeah,
and that gives you basically free advertising. Like your channel will go through a bot system that always is messaging over and over again, and you have this list of people, like this person is doing this live stream, or you should check them out, or this person has a Twitch, this person has a YouTube channel, this person has, like this or that, and a bag of chips, as you say. But I think that would make things circulate better. When you have a player base, you can start adding that, and then players will be like, yeah, I'll make a video about the server, and that'll promote her server. So, and you have to like add a name of, their name has to be in the title.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. You have to have their name also in the title along with all the other things. And that, when she says, hey, look up my server, I have a YouTube channel and everything else, they'll type in that name, or the server's name, if they don't type her name in. And they'll see a whole plethora of videos about this server, which helps promote her. Or like, maybe not, and if you wanted to make the prefix not just YouTuber, just put it like content creator. Just call it content creator.
I love that.
And that'll make a general for everything, like Twitch, YouTube, anything and everything, even us, we do like this live stream, but also we have, our podcast, which you should listen to, on Apple and Android, podcast stuff, which, is also something that you could promote, which you should listen to. So, I think that would help with the economy.
Yeah.
For any server, too. I think any server should do that, really. And heck, I might bring it up for the next server. You never know.
That's true. And this is, that's all a really great idea. And definitely something that I think most, if not all servers should partake in, if that YouTube, I guess, content creator rank, as you call it. But, yeah. I guess that's going to end our discussion on ranks. I don't really have anything else to say about the store. I don't know much else to say about the website or anything else with the other servers. Unless you have anything else you're thinking of.
No, not right now.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic. So, for people who don't know what the word aesthetic means the look of something. So, of course, when we talk about aesthetic, in this case, we're talking about the look of the server as a whole. So, my only note, I only have small notes, is that I said that the original quest town is pretty. After that, there's nothing else that is designed. Like, it's just a survival world. It looks pretty. Of course, if you're watching the video podcast, we have a slideshow on the bottom right of every episode of the podcast, and those are all pictures of usually your hubs and things like that.
For those who are just listening through the live stream, you can find this at Emerald the Furball if you'd like to watch us on Twitch as well. I'm all about promoting today, just having that promoted day.
And we will eventually be releasing a Exploring the Community Discord server to everybody else, and we will have a dedicated server pictures chat. So if you ever just want to look at the pictures that way, we will absolutely put them up there for you as well.
We also have a dedicated YouTube channel as well that we're going to most likely, if not, put any of the videos or any of the video stuff. Is that correct? Is that what we kind of?
We are heading in that way.
We decided on. Okay.
All right. So, it is a starting town. It is a starting hub of places, and.
But they could add more.
Like we've been saying. More. This server could use so much more to make it much more of a selling point for its gameplay and aesthetic. And that's about it. That's really much I have to say about aesthetic. There's nothing really much else I can talk about.
We've kind of already gone over everything that there is already in the aesthetic part of it. I mean, it's limited, and then that's it. That's you get the town and
the countryside. I think the technical name for the server is called. They call it the countryside.
I mean, the shops are another thing, but like buying stuff from their shops, but
and we've already kind of touched bases on that because they use they with that they use in-game materials, and you go to a villager and trade it. So, which I think for a roleplay aspect that matches the server very well.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree with that. I think so too.
But I mean that's about it for the aesthetic part for me.
But we did have the opportunity to talk to the owner of the server, and I mean her answers, I gotta say, I'm sorry for hitting the microphone, by the way. Her answers were not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah,
they were such good answers,
and it definitely breaks down on it. Definitely answers our question of the general question so far of why isn't there more, and we'll tap into that in just a second. Of course, we got 3 more things to talk about before we get into the staff Q&A. Stability. I found out that most of the time it is pretty stable, but there is at times when there is a higher player count or tons of people exploring chunks that the server will simply stop. It will just shut down, which is somewhat of a positive and negative on as a whole front.
I don't know why that happened. I don't know why that.
I know why it happens. Pretty much.
So you're smarter than I am, so.
Pretty much with any Minecraft server. Most of the time it bases it off its RAM, which is its memory, and it has to memorize, what block is where, and all that kind of stuff, or it has to memorize what the plugin properties or whatever. Pretty much, it gets to a point where if we are generating enough block data, if we're running enough chunks at the same time, the server will overload. It'll say, this player's moving too fast. Like, the server will tell you, this player's moving too fast, this player's moving too fast, this player's moving too fast. Or it'll say, server overload, this server is behind by this many ticks. Which then, that causes your initial lag spikes, but then there's going to be this one stopping lag spike, and then you get booted, and it will say the server closed, and that's when you, frantically contact the owner. But that is what happens whenever a server just shuts down like that. And I think we're going to experience that quite a bit with some of these small servers, especially if we're sticking with this unique aspect. But for this server, I definitely hope that they are able to fix that in the future. Of course, they can't do that right now, but in the future for sure.
Well, it's happened a lot, so I really hope they do.
Yeah. Moving on from stability, which I don't think there's really much to see, we're going to combine these two. Player base and staff. So the player base as a whole wasn't toxic. It actually was very welcoming, almost like enjoyably welcoming. Which was awesome. Yeah.
It's always good to see when you come on that they're actually happy to welcome you in and help you out and with whatever you need. And the owner, too. I mean, me personally, I love being able to know that the owner is online and the staff are online and they're always working.
Yeah.
You can't always have that, but I love when when you see them online and they talk to you and in chat, of course, they say hello with a smiley face. It makes you go, oh, that's nice. I feel warm and like that warm, welcoming feeling.
I mean,
makes me feel comfortable.
This is something I told the owner, which I definitely wanted to let her know this, and she's watching this podcast back. This is something I want to say again. Whenever I got on the server and I was playing with Gamer here and some other friends that we wanted to have some fun times with, when I first logged on, while sitting there waiting, I got like 4 or 5 or 6 different people welcoming, saying, hey, even somebody asking me, how's your day going? How's it going? And that kind of thing. And that's something that I think you can never get off a player base without natural progression. And,
right.
and that is something that I think when we get into this Q&A, that is something that we're definitely going to say. It's the main selling point of this server. May it not right now have a lot of gameplay to offer, the community is amazing, and shout out to everybody who watches this back, who's in the community of CreeperCraftMC. From the Exploring the Community crew, we personally love you guys, and I think that
very much
y'all are going to be the example set for the next, 8, 9, 10, or even forever episodes that we have in the future. So realistically, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Player base and staff, very nice. Very, very hopeful that if another server that we go to, has the same philosophy and the same feel from their community, but we won't really know until we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it'll definitely be like that. I mean, everybody just, I mean, and again, one of those things where not only are they really nice, but excuse me, I'm just choking over here. Pardon me. But everybody just gets along and doesn't cause issues amongst themselves,
Yeah.
But again, that's another thing later too. But it's worth noting for this that not only are they really nice, but everything is between the community is just well-rounded, organized, friendly, not drama related. It's everyone is not. No one's trying to grief each other. They have more respect than that.
Yeah, I completely agree there, and I definitely, and then this is my last base, but the last thing I'll say about the player base and staff for now is that we are definitely going to miss you guys. If for some reason we're never back on the server, we're definitely going to miss you guys.
We'll come back,
and we're most likely going to be back. But if for some
I'll
reason,
make sure.
For some reason, if we're not on, we'll definitely going to miss this server, and probably this is going to be one of the first episodes that I'm always going to look back on just because of the community alone.
I'll make sure to pull Emerald by his ears and pull him back to the server.
All right, and so now it is time for the staff Q&A.
Woo.
All right, so the staff we talked to was the owner. Her name's Donnie. Her Minecraft name is just the same. And it's spelled Donnie. Her Discord name is Donnie, Donknee. Yes, that's a pun. With the tag 8389. We do wish that you guys go give her some support, or even just ask her about the server, or even just ask her an IP and go play yourself.
Hey, her name is a knee slapper.
Oh,
okay,
God.
I'm done.
Oh, that's no podcast. Oh, no. All right.
Couldn't help it.
So we have some questions and answers here. Hey, Gamer, do you actually have it all pulled up, like the questions and answers? Okay, so so we're gonna make this a little more fun between us. So we're not gonna go through strict but I want you to read the question. I'll read the answer that I was able to type up, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about that question and the answer that she gave, or the answers plural that she gave, that really helps about everything. So go ahead and
this is gonna be fun.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first question we have here: tell us your history with the server and how long the server has been up.
Well, it first started out that Donnie was not the original owner of the server. CompuServe was the original owner with CreeperCraftMMO back in April 2012. She picked up the server in November of 2013 from him. He started the server within peak Minecraft, being that it was 2012, topping out about 100 players at the peak, then 50 daily, then naturally to a decay of about 30. He then auctioned the server off to Donnie, purchased for the server for about $100 USD. But she wasn't alone, though. She had a helper to help them even to this day. It became an issue for her, though, because she became dependent on others. She tried to do a merger in 2014, but it didn't work out for both communities. The other community was a PvP server. An additional fact is that PvP server is no longer existent. She started talking about taking control after that, so there was no regrets on her end. From that point on, she's been trying to be mostly independent. She has slow progress, and she's been doing well. In the beginning, people were exploitive to her newness at the beginning, but eventually worked it out for her. She felt very vulnerable at the time, but personal level, she thinks the server's doing better. She's becoming independent and not really relying on others for anything. Player count is a problem for her just because of the general population of the game, of Minecraft in general. The server beforehand was pretty much a controlled, in parentheses, anarchy server, and now she is turned into a survival roleplay server. Those answers are all of that explains a lot about the history of the server.
I mean, for someone to take a server like that, while I was just listening to your answer, I was just thinking, it's a lot to take over someone's place as an owner.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's stressful because you are taking from where they left off. I mean, you have to do the same kind of amount of input, so to speak, as the last person, and do the same kind of thing as the last person. I mean, that in itself, that's just stressful. It really truly is.
Yeah. I mean, she went from, she had, a rough history with the server. I mean, this server's been open as a whole for 7 years now. 7 years as of April. And, it was a different name, had a different owner. She tried a merger. I mean, she did everything to really try to push the server in a way that she was trying to do it for the better. And I think now that she's becoming more independent and doing her idea, I should say, it's really working well for her. And I do give her the commendments that I really do want to give her for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that for anybody to do that, I would applaud them. It's not an easy task. It can make or break a server. It truly can. I mean, You have to, like I said, living up to the standard of the last person. There's people who have been there. I mean, they are. It's like those people may or may not leave because you are the owner now, just because of that alone. But now, the pressure of having to do everything perfect, just as it was before, that creates that stress in your mind of trying to, and that's what also makes people burn out with Minecraft or Minecraft servers in general.
Absolutely. And I do really think that she is with the history that she gave. It's good to know that she's pretty much at the moment picking up a server that is still in shambles from the merger, still in shambles from it being sold off, and right now she's doing really well for herself.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the next one then. I think we got all the points through there. Okay. This question says, maintain push like last owner?
It has fluctuated from the beginning, but she is noticing growth. A lot of work enticing old and new players to be here. So, I mean, she's trying to keep, the old name and the new. She's trying to basically combine it to where it can be one loving place, which is awesome.
Everyone can be happy for everything, an old name, but a new, a whole new world.
Exactly.
As Aladdin would put it. Sorry, but I think that it could only go up from here if possibly she continues. Well, if she continues what she's doing, but possibly and hopefully take some of the advice we give, because I think that any advice is better than none, and I'm sure that a lot of this, I would think it would help. I think especially the ranks thing. I think that would really help.
Yeah.
She's doing good right now. She's doing fantastic right now. She really, truly is.
I agree.
And it can get better from as it is now.
And I mean, she does have a push. Maybe taking her a long time. It does have a push right now. I guess that's the question from here.
Yeah. Any major changes coming up to the server that we should definitely take note on?
A suggestion tab was recommended. Quest should be further advanced. Brings up a quest called the Cave of Lost Souls, and brings up the fact that she is building a labyrinth. Well, that's good.
I don't remember if I remember her even saying that or not. My memory is just so vague, and it's been so long since I remember the interview. I watched the video, but for some reason my brain cannot come up with that.
She actually did talk about it for a hot minute, and she did it because we actually had to do a restart interview for people on the podcast. She brought it up twice, so she did talk about the Cave of Lost Souls, and she talked about the labyrinth. She's basically just, in a nutshell, was saying, I'm planning to advance the quest line even further beyond.
Well, that's on me. I mean, I just wasn't really there, I guess.
Happens.
It happens. Plus, I got a bad memory. Sometimes I'm just like, wait, what did I talk about? What did I say?
Exactly.
Wait, what? So this next one, let's see. On many different rank sites, your server is listed towards the middle part of the list. Where do you think your success comes from, and do you take most of the credit for it, or do you think you deserve better or worse than you have?
Most definitely based on the old server, but help pave the way for the current owner. Older players are here, but new players are from her point. They don't stay due to nostalgia. Her success is a mixed bag of players and name recognition. Vote sites being outdated, and there used to be almost 15, but now she has queued it down to about 7. So, I mean, she's definitely saying it's hinged on a lot of the old bits of info and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's been very humble too. I mean, I would probably be the same way.
Yeah.
She's just a humble person. She's just a good person, you know.
Yeah.
So then this says, if yes, how do you think it will get better? Which wasn't really. She didn't really.
We didn't get a chance to ask it, really. I mean, she didn't really say yes or no. She kind of just gave a middle of the line answer. So, I mean, but she gave a good answer nonetheless. She is making a point that I didn't make all the success. There's still old players that are here, but there's still some new players that I like. You know, and she makes that whole thing, which good on her for doing that, honestly.
Any plans on developing the quest line?
Quest should be further advanced. Things are not based on one thing, more based on in the very beginning to demonstrate the plugin. Wants to make server unique, and she brings up a somewhat dark voice vibe, especially with the Cave of Lost Souls. So she pretty much, it's like the question from before for major changes. She's basically saying, yes, I am developing the quest line.
What is Dark Forest?
She brought up she said something with Dark Forest, and I took a note of it because that is something that is going to be interesting if she does make a quest line called the Dark Forest.
Oh, I thought it was something like that I missed a game or some kind or something like that. No. It sounds like a game, honestly.
I would play it.
I bet you. I would too, probably, if my computer could run it.
Yeah.
It sounds like an awesome horror game. Or just a story game in general, like an RPG story game.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. I was just like, horror game or role play. You can make a cool story out of that.
I don't horror games.
Or book.
Ooh,
I mean, or book.
That would be a good book, yes. Anyway.
The Dark Forest has like a Minecraft storyline to it.
That's becoming a t-shirt.
Oh, yes.
The make-believe book cover of a Dark Forest.
Have you had other staff in the past or looking for staff right now?
Player count is deemed small, so it feels like no staff is needed. Too much for her for admins and mods. Worked out beforehand, but people then got jealous. She did away with all of it when the drama grew. She's not looking for staff right now, and she also has a certain vision and some people can't grasp it, and it potentially can ruin it. To put the concept into place, she is the only staff member on her server. She is the staff.
She's the only working on everything.
And
now.
That is a big task because she's not just working on the server, right? She's not just keying on the server. Right now she's working on her server plus a Discord plus a website plus a Twitter plus a YouTube plus a store plus all the vote sites, all that different kind of stuff.
She's doing it all. She's building. She's doing the plugins. I almost said mods. I find that funny. She's doing the plugins. She's doing everything. I mean,
yeah,
it's that. And that's not a recommended thing. I don't recommend you be alone when doing.
Especially a plugin heavy server like this, I never recommend being alone. May you not like it. I get why you deem your player count small, but I mean right now you're hitting 10 players. I think you should at least have 1 or 2 mods just to even just be on the server.
Arguably, I would have 1 mod, but also have another have an admin, not another admin. She's the owner. I have an admin who can help with and maybe even 1 builder to help with that. It splits it up everything evenly. And the best way I think to do, because she's had a lot of bad people in the past. She was even saying that that she's used to have a lot of more staff, and then they just ended up doing what they wanted because they just had the power. But honestly, I think that if you truly train them or if you truly test them, kind of like, I don't know if you're up to bringing up this point or not, but the way that you and I talked about training staff, it probably would take away a lot of the drama-related people and pull in the people who want to work.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also very worried, that's going to cause more drama, and I would understand that. That has that like PTSD kind of thing, It's like,
we've been there.
I don't want to do it because I'm afraid.
We've been in that realm, so we can personally relate in the fact that people just easily get jealous. People are people, humans are humans, and people just get jealous over a 5-letter word versus a 3-letter word, and it's kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm mad that that happened, and I'm sad that she's alone now, and that she feels like she can't trust anybody. And honestly, I offered to help, but I don't know if she really wants that right now or not. Maybe she just wants to do it alone right now. That's just one of those things, and she might. The offer's still on the table. I still want to help if you want me to help.
If you need the help, in general, if Donnie, if you do listen to the podcast, everybody in your community, especially including us, we would love to help you and everything. And I know you have a vision with your quest line. We're not going to try to get in your way of building a quest line. We could potentially, just simply be adding more things for the community so they can do something while they're waiting for a quest line to happen. You know what I mean? And there's many different things that to your server right now that I would definitely be trying to work on. Like, I would absolutely have somebody you should have a social media team for your Twitter and for your Discord and stuff, and you should have somebody right now that should be working on that and making that more flush and uniform just for you. And
like a website designer.
Yeah. That's what I would stand. Staff.
Yeah, and even if you wanted to temporarily give it to admins, you could give it to them too, and they do it for now. Because you may not want to do that at the moment. You will probably want to do it later. I think it's a smart idea. That's definitely nothing wrong with having a dedicated like web designer, what would you call it? Would you call it
a web designer?
Not a web designer. What is it?
I said a social media manager.
There you go. That's better.
So you can have it cover all bases and not just the website.
that's better. I was like, what am I missing? It's another word and I can't think of it.
But I mean that in a whole.
Thank goodness.
That's pretty much where we're touching on her server is the fact that, well, staff-wise, I think she should get some, even though it may cause drama. You have the community to where I don't think it will cause drama anymore. At least for right now.
So I think that these two questions go together, if I'm not mistaken. I think that they do.
They kind of do, but I just separated them. You can ask them both if you want.
Okay, so this says the first one, so the first one says, any other way to earn money that other than completing quests, or I think is that right? Any other way of earning money than completing quests. And then the second one is plans for a job plugin.
I'm going to combine the answers here. So for the answer to the first question was, the server runs on in-game items for main currency. People can buy the items. People can buy the currency, or they can vote, which helps the server populate and helps the player. So I mean, yeah, that's fair. She just primarily uses it for voting and primarily use it as an economic gain. And the plans for the job plugin answer is people will spam the money system and can inflate economy for selling back, getting multiple types of a crop and selling it back. And even though that should be like how natural gain of a server goes, but that's just me.
That's true. Totally not going to try that on a different server. I wouldn't try it on yours. No, definitely not, Donnie. But I'm going to try it on a different one.
My thing is that
no.
You say that someone can inflate the job plugin. Well, I think if they're gaining items, if they're playing Minecraft, then yeah, I get it. But you can check command logs. You can easily see, this player just got $5,000 added to their balance 20 different times. We need to go figure out how is that possible. Something as simple.
Yeah, you can keep an eye on it easy.
Yeah,
you just gotta know how. But that's another thing. I think there's a question and answer dedicated to that too later. But if I'm not mistaken, but she's not necessarily tech savvy. She's not very good with the tech stuff. Like, yeah, apparently me neither. Or English. But she's just like me. I wouldn't be able to tell you about plugins and how to code them. That's not something I know. I mean, that's just hard. But that's why you have somebody else who does know to do that kind of stuff for you. I mean, it's that she's saying that she wants to do it alone and she doesn't really know about a lot of that stuff. And that's kind of I think dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Because if something happens, you're going to be stuck for a long time without being able to figure out how to do it. And you're not going to, unless you just have somebody on speed dial who can do that, you're not going to know how to fix the problem necessarily.
Yeah. I mean that's just be that is that she's just not tech savvy and she needs to just I think let's go back to the staff argument. I think she does need to get more staff, but that's just me. Yeah,
I agree. I think that she should, but Donnie, it's just something you're gonna have to do. And I know that it's kind of hard because you've been treated badly before, but there's ways of getting staff. I promise you.
It is natural server progression.
Yeah.
To get staff, it has to happen because I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna be on your 10th quest line by yourself, right? Let's say you get 10 quest lines in, and you have a player count of 75. If one thing is broken, like if you can spam a quest on one quest line and nobody says anything until you have that nice, genuine, kind player, then you're going to figure out which quest line is it, what quest is it, all by yourself. You're not going to have a staff team that can just and pretty much just take care of it, So, we are begging from the bottom of our hearts just because we like the server. Please, 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 please get staff.
Please, please, please.
All right. Next question.
Hold on. Have it locked. So I scrolled, so I lost it for a second. Just give me a second.
We are on all of the. That is a unique question. It starts with all of the.
Oh, all of the MC MMO features and disease features gives MC a real life feel. What made you want a server? What makes you? Or excuse me.
Weird.
I'm sorry. Well, I say all of the MMO features and disease features give an MC a real life feel. What made you want to make a server with these specific features?
She wants to make the server unique. She wanted to add an element to the game to make it challenging, but not too hard. She wants even more elements, but that is about scene. That is about what she really wants. I mean, pretty much that's the only reason why she wants MC MMO, diseases. I think she even put in X weather not that long ago. She wants more things to make the game hard, or make the game at least not hard, but make it unique and make it challenging. Because everyone can play Minecraft Survival, but she wants to see what people can do with Minecraft Survival with a twist, and that's very fair. It's on top of the quest line, I mean that she throws back in there, but pretty much she just wants to make the server interesting, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, indefinitely, and I don't think there's anything I can add to that, honestly.
Yeah. All right. So I guess next question.
So the next question is the server more for your community, or did you want to be a server owner?
In the beginning, she wanted to be an owner because of the power and the attention. Later on, she became more community-based. Which is fair. That's what owners naturally... That's a natural progression of an owner. You want it at first because the power, because the attention, because the, ooh, look, I'm an owner. And then later on, you're going to become more community-based, and you want to do things for your community and not just for yourself anymore. And very fair to give that as an answer.
Another one of those defined as, I guess, natural progression, or as you say, like it's one of those things that just kind of happens, I guess.
It's that natural server progression.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it is. I mean, nothing more than that, really.
Yeah.
And then the next question is, I know that survival and creative have separate inventories and even ways to stop spawning in cheated items like diamonds and such, but why do you include an option for a creative command, /creative command?
And when I remember that, it was like in the store because I typed these questions out and I was tired. The answer was this server was built. This server was built with a foundation on another server. Original people will come on and complain about it all. Restricting things weren't really working for her, so this was a compromise for the server. It was a compromise for really all the players. World edit was taken away, but creative so far has stayed. You want to make the build you want without worrying about materials and ways to get certain blocks, which is fair.
Well, and she even noted, I think, if I remember correctly, about how back in the day they just had it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they
just kind of had creative.
It was anarchy, and a lot of people kind of were just given op.
Yeah, and then they were just kind of, when the owner changed, then they got mad because she wasn't doing things, the way that that the other owner was.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And that's not fair to her,
People like the way that the old owner did it, yet you can't really base that on.
And they just complained to her.
Yeah.
That wasn't really fair.
I mean, it's what can you do? Is that's what happens when you pass down a server? Is that you're gonna have players that are gonna complain? It is natural. Again,
yeah, but
natural server
at the same
progression.
time, she kind of gave in,
Yeah.
which I don't think you should do necessarily. Excuse me. So the next question is, excuse me. So, is this server just a 1.14.2, or can this be played on any version back to 1.9 or 1.8x, or 1.9x to or 1.8x?
Well, now it's 1.14.3, but it's only the current version of Minecraft. We did recommend a solution which we are going to be using on an upcoming project. Via version, via rewind, and via backwards, the three things that every server in the Minecraft realm uses, so that all players alike, whether it be back to 1.7 or all the way back up to 1.14, to play on the server.
Yeah, you always stress via version a lot.
Yeah.
So the next question is, you, as yourself, you were asking these questions.
Yeah.
But we didn't seem to get in any game prizes for voting. What do I get instead?
The answer that she gave was in-game money and points you can spend to trade in for free boosts and commands in the store. So that's what the point currency was back in the store segment. Was you get points for voting and you can spend it on free things in the store. Now I don't know how much a vote is worth a point, or I don't even know how much currency you get per vote. She didn't actually stay. We didn't even ask. Whoops. But it is something that is interesting to know that we do actually get something for voting, other than just try to give us like gold or like physical materials.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's it. That's true. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me over here. So, and honestly, there's not much I could even add to that. I mean, that's all you really need is the money anyway. I mean, and the points for the whatever, the fun stuff, I guess, or the kind of booster fun stuff, or whatever it is. I mean, so this next one, kind of goes with that, I guess. Okay, in your store, most of your stuff is cheap, with the most expensive thing being VIP Plus, which is, it says $30.
Yeah, 30.
Is that
USD.
true? Or is it 15?
It is
Okay,
30 for VIP Plus.
Do you ever think that you're going to charge higher, or even make your stuff cheaper for the server, and why?
She responded that it was a happy medium and it pretty much won't change much. The previous rank beforehand, the most expensive rank was around $100 or even $300, but she did face backlash for making the ranks cheaper because she made basically a $100 rank into $30. She was also able, for the prices that she had listed, able to purchase MCMMO and even a plugin to restrict creative. So I mean, it's fair economy, fair profit.
Right. To have your, so I'm assuming that means your lowest one, right? Your lowest rank was $100.
Their highest rank, the $30 rank, that's the VIP Plus rank, was $100.
And the VIP was just half of that, I guess.
And I guess they had like 7 or 8 ranks with that $100 price range, but the most expensive rank was $100.
I was gonna ask, but I was like, so wait, like what? Like your highest was 100? Because that is kind of up there.
I mean, we've seen servers in the past that have $250 ranks, and we'll probably talk about those in the future, but that is something.
We'll probably find a bunch of them.
We'll probably find even some small ones here on the unique way. There'll probably be somebody with an expensive rank. Anyway, next question or anything else?
There's a couple more. There's a few more. Where did I see? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting lost in the questions. Future plans with the Discord, Twitter, or other things your server is based around?
She in general just said that she wanted to make everything a bit uniform, and she also just created an Instagram, which is interesting for our server. I think that's an interesting thing to choose for a server.
Mm-hmm. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't want to do that, you could put it on your Discord.
Yeah.
And the next is your YouTube channel the best place to look for updates on your server?
She said, yes, absolutely. The website and the YouTube channel should be syncopated with updates.
Which you kind of did say something about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That her YouTube channel is that. Personally, I don't know. I'd rather see the updates like on... Well, I guess YouTube is the best place, but I don't know.
I
honestly,
think that she should post it on her Twitter feed as well. If she's going to have Twitter, Twitter is a very big platform to use and even abuse in a way for following and for gaining traction. So, that'd be that.
Yeah, true. So, the next one is... Pardon me. I'm over here snacking now.
I hear it.
Shouldn't be doing that. Sorry about that. I'm sorry to be absolutely rude on the podcast.
What's the next question?
Why did you do a relaunch for your server?
So she told us about that there's a button on the engine website that sends a mass email and it can spike the player numbers or even the votes and stats. She actually had 3 relaunches in total. The first one was important because of the merger. The merger was a relaunch. Her second one, she had an events every month, which that's dedication, by the way. And we'll talk about that after I talk about the third one, which is to simply say that she wanted the server back. But to have an event every single month, I mean, that's dedication. That is dedication to a server. And if I see a server have events for itself every month, that's dedication.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one thing to just do it on special occasions, but to do it every single month. I mean, and that could even still be a holiday too,
Mm-hmm.
On one of those days. So, and it says, this next one, and I'm sorry for anybody listening, I'm just flying through them. But I think everything that, Emerald is saying is just pretty true, and that's all I can really say is that I agree with what he says. I mean, honestly, because it's true. That's basically what you're saying is what I think,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not much I can say to that. Besides, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one says, we want to say congrats to you for being picked by our podcast. Other than our reason that we picked your server for our podcast, if a new player today wanted to know why we should join your server, what would you say and why?
She said that there's a welcome community, especially to the newer players. She says it's friendly, nice, and great. And she wanted you to feel welcome and wants you to feel not worried about losing your stuff or staff being abusive. And she said the best word to describe all of it. She wants to give you the best hospitality. That is the best word to say how I feel about the server and the way that the community treats people and the staff as well.
And that's how servers should be. I mean, in general, they should have that kind of
hospitality.
Good hospitality. Yeah. Alongside with having a decent running server, you should have that hospitality for new players, newcomers.
Yes.
And people with ranks, the community in general should be kind as well, but people with ranks sometimes they're a little meaner because they're like, well, I have a rank and you don't. I'm better than you. I mean, yeah, and they kind of pick on you. And in this server, you don't get that. Everyone is so kind and everything, as we said before. I mean,
yeah.
Which is good. That is hospitality. That's the way any server should be. And I've been on so many where it is, like I said, where people with ranks just don't know what hospitality is. They don't know what being kind is. Because they're in general already toxic, but they get a rank and they get a bigger ego, and it makes them more toxic and makes the whole server toxic. But that just kind of goes back to the question of, her and the server in general, being kind to everyone. When you get on the server, everyone's welcoming and loving and, that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's really all it comes down to is hospitality. But then we moved on to ask if there are any plugins that she would like to expand on. That's the question. That's you. Would you expand current plugins to make it further beyond?
She talked about the disease plugin expand. She wasn't entirely sure on how to make custom diseases. And she basically just kind of said that she hopes, but it's not sure.
Well, and I said that, maybe because she said this, I said that I would love to see diseases be wider variety. Like, besides what there is now, make it harder for you to, like, a common cold or like breaking a leg would probably be a better one. So when you jump down from a high place, you have that chance, the percentage of breaking your leg, and that gives you slowness.
Yes.
But see, you could even expand on that and make it where it's like, because the longer you walk on it, the slower you should go, I think. To where you really have no choice but to say, I need to get some help right now. Of course, the problem with that is slowness. You could just kind of get around it by hobbling around. You just kind of bounce around like a kangaroo. But she said again, another one of those things. What I have to go back to is like, she needs somebody who could help her expand it because obviously her common knowledge is limited, and I think that's not good. And stuff like that, people like something like that. Yeah, it's not like it's not a lot to ask for. I mean, it really can be for some, but sometimes people bring ideas that are small, and when you don't know how to do it, that kind of scares players away, Yeah. So I think it's important to have someone, again, just emphasizing this one more time. I want to try to leave it alone, but having extra staff is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you can
more staff.
Do it right. To just train them right. I mean, would you like to emphasize like the ideas that we like to do ours? Like your kind of, if you have a server, Emerald, like how you would train them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay to?
I mean, yeah.
To
if you want to go through a lot of the work that I do for training, because
I won't be long, but
here's the way that I trained staff on servers in the past, is that I would go out of my way, and I would make training videos and like little quizzes and stuff, pretty much making sure that they know what they're doing. You're not just giving them a rank and say, here you go. It's more of making sure that if there's in a specific place, like if they're just working survival, they should know every single bit about your survival that it should be not funny. And that's just me. That is my opinion.
I mean, being staffed serious, I mean, obviously you can have your fun, but you're not trying to have people who half decently do work, you know?
Yeah.
And in doing like a training video, again, I'm sorry, I hit the microphone just then. A training video and a test, well, if people aren't serious about it, you'll know, because either they just won't do it or they'll fail it. And you'll be able to get the people who are willing to do it and not willing to do it, you know. And again, that can be kind of difficult. But like, I know I can't really like I almost can't help it, but I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you had, not speaking now to Donnie again, even if you had Emerald temporarily do it for you until you could get some staff for your server, that would help. I mean, that would help you find the right staff, like an admin or another, like Emerald, you know what I mean? Like to train staff members, to test staff members.
Yeah.
Emerald could tell someone else, here's how this goes, and you're going to be the one in charge of finding the staff, through like going through all the ins and outs, the applications, doing the testing, the video, or you could do hands-on training if you wanted to, if you'd rather not do a video. But do that, and then do like a little quiz, and then here you go. This, you know, this is how this is going to be. From there, then doing that will create a snowball effect for your server, like staff specifically, and it will help you find the people you need, not the people who just want to necessarily like use you or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, some players might find it annoying, and the players who find it annoying are the players who don't have the patience and the time to really want to be part of your server. That's why I have, you know, the rules that I have, and the way I make, you know, things so intensive is that I'm not just doing it so they know the knowledge. I'm testing their patience. I'm testing if somebody really wants to work on the server, then they need to put the effort and they need to put in their patience to really understand why they want to work on the
definitely
server. And I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of work to do, but it needs to be done, in my opinion.
I mean, like, even if, well, I can't say drop everything else. I mean, but I feel like, personally, at this moment, unless you can prove a different point or make a point that would change my mindset, I think that right now really should be first priority.
Yeah.
I mean, because everything is getting done, and you're doing a great job, but everything's getting done at a very slow rate. And by this rate, you won't be done for a long time if you continue to do everything on your own terms, on your own, by yourself. And again, I understand how difficult it can be because, you know, that's kind of hard to trust people after all that. But there are people who are willing to work for you and really do the job to their full, what's the word I'm looking for here?
For what they want. They do the job how you want them to do it.
Yeah, basically they do the job in the fullest. They do it to the fullest extent that they can.
Yeah.
For not just you, but for the community. And it kind of goes, asking the next question is, anti-cheat is this is the next question.
Yeah, and then simple response was the community's trustworthy. And yeah, she does have one, but she does think the community is trustworthy.
Which also is okay. But see, and with the like creative thing with this too, I have to again, express caution, that you have caution, because even though your people are trustworthy, a lot of them are, and you find out. I know you do. I don't know how she does it, Emerald, but she does. There's going to be a time where even if your server's like 500 people, I'm hoping so. I'm crossing my fingers for that for you. I really am. I know it's a lot of people, but hey, one can dream. There's like in that 500 people, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to just not take it seriously and just not care. I mean, and they're going to do it behind your back. They're going to find ways to get around you. I remember because I used to be that on that one server that I told you about, Emerald.
Yeah.
There's that when I was that kind of guy. I found ways around staff where they couldn't spot me, where I could do things and they couldn't figure out how. Like, for example, how to grief a house with lava without them being able to spot the block it was placed on using Core Protect. Found ways around that. Because there are ways.
Yeah, there's going to be ways. There's bound to be ways with anything.
Not now, because Core Protect's gotten a lot smarter. But it's like you gotta just be careful with that. I know that you think your community is trustworthy now, and they are. But when you start advertising more people, sketchy people are going to come on. And you're going to have a lot of them. Hackers, griefers, the whole thing.
I've had times where like whole servers were ruined just because of a hacker. And then, I didn't take precautions, but also, even though I had staff, I didn't have active staff. So it's as the same thing as if I'm doing it by myself. So, I mean, make sure that you're keeping a very good eye on no cheaters or bug exploiters or anything like that.
Because there will be a bunch of them. And people who use like X-ray resource packs.
I'm gonna tell you something. I have shaders, right? And this is something, it's unintentional of shaders, but it occurs. There are times with shaders that you can see through walls. Just a shader pack. And that's something that you can't control, but it happens.
Along with the resource pack.
The resource pack is but like I'm saying, do I use for my advantage? No, because I'm not gonna go out and actively dig for that cave, because I'm gonna forget about that cave in 5 seconds. But it occurs. You will have ways where you'll see through walls. It happens.
I mean, and not all staff staff may not necessarily be on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not always going to have eyes on people. And especially with X-ray stuff. I mean, like with I don't know. You might have to talk. We have to talk about this later. Because I don't know if there are really ways to get around or catch somebody who's using a resource pack, X-ray resource pack, besides just being there with them.
To my knowledge, no, because it doesn't pick up as an anti-cheat thing. Because it's a resource pack. Why would you ban somebody over a resource pack?
Yeah,
and that could definitely be used as an excuse against the owner. Oh, why did you ban me? It was just a resource pack. I only used the resource pack. Whatever else. Anyway.
Exactly.
Besides the point. Just make sure to keep a safe eye on everything. That's all we're asking.
Mm-hmm. And then the next question here: why do you think your own server? Well, okay, I'm sorry. What do you think of your own server if you're an outside looking in? Yeah, what do you think of your own server if you were an outsider looking in?
She made the point that she would be very biased and she would be very subjective. She said she would like quests in the world. She said the spawn area would be cool, but she needs to ask more players for an opinion. And I guess that's a great example. This is a whole hour and a half, 2-hour episode podcast talking about your server. And this is the opinion that we have.
I hope you're willing to listen to the whole 2 hours. Well, at this point, I hope you would.
Actually, right now, I'm going to tell you what. At the current point of this podcast, we're only an hour and a quarter in, so we're not even that. This is not even that long of an episode so far.
That was only the last one.
So,
well, I'm sure. I mean, if I keep rambling, we might.
We'll get there.
We'll get there soon enough. So, I think, obviously, as an owner, as anything, as a staff, you're going to have a bias, a server bias, a owner bias, a staff bias, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have a bias about the server. Mm-hmm. But it's like I was saying with you. You're going to have to view your server as in a non-biased way and ask the question, is this worth being on? Am I happy enough to be on here? Am I finding enough to do on here where I feel like I want to stay and come or come back whenever I leave, that kind of thing.
It's just that.
You agree?
That thing. I completely agree with. I agree with everything that you're saying right now. You're making tons of good points.
Okay, you got quiet, bud. I was scared.
About that.
I thought you were pondering my thought there.
No, I'm just being to be honest with you, I'm being hit with a tired spell, so my everything is kind of just going.
That's okay. Well, there are a few more questions. So, are there any challenges you're trying to reach for your server personally, or any milestone you're trying to shoot for?
She responded that she has many ideas that she wants to do, but can't. Constant player base of around 10 players, but she wants to grow. She wants to make it more interesting than the current way. That first point, every server owner goes through the many ideas but can't do it right now phase. Because because you have that thought of, I'm not happy with the server is right now. I want to do something. I want to make it different. Maybe. I want to make mine different. What makes my server I can ramble on about that stuff, but I'm not going to today. Pretty much in a nutshell, you want to make sure that you have enough for your server. Here's my thing. It's the same thing with YouTube content creation. You want to play on your server. You want to make your server the most entertaining for yourself first. There are going to be people out there, funny enough, that are going to love exactly what you love. But most importantly, think about the fact that you want to make your server entertaining for yourself first. You want to make sure that you laugh at your YouTube videos first before you upload it. It's the same rule. But that's my general nutshell on the things.
I agree. I truly and 100% agree. So then you ask, would it be okay if in the future I come back and stream your server, potentially opening it up to the world?
And she said yes, absolutely. Funny enough, we did that about a day or two ago as we showed the podcast. As we streamed this podcast. So we'll probably have a stream highlight somewhere out there. But yeah.
That's so meta.
Meta.
And then you ask, are your plugins handmade, or you just grab plugins from Bucket or Spigot forums?
She just grabs Bucket or Spigot plugins, but then I didn't take this as a note, but then she configures them. So she doesn't only hand code them, but she has to put the NPC in, and she has to do that kind of thing, So she has to do a lot of the work by hand, because things like quests and citizens there's still a lot of work you have to do in game on top of any work you're doing out game. So I mean, yeah, she's basically just grabbing plug-in or spigot plugins, but she's making them in her own way unique.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to have to, like, explain what you're talking about, because I don't speak that language. I don't know what you're saying. But I understand, and I do that too. I think everyone does, don't they? I mean, at some point, some plugin needs that, you know? So, I mean, everyone kind of does, which is nothing wrong with that. But, and there's nothing wrong. Personally, there's nothing wrong with getting pre-made plugins. I think that sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a smart cookie when it comes to plugins. Sometimes doing it yourself is a lot lighter than having a different pre-created plugin. Because you can make it within a certain amount for your server that's not too heavy, that won't bog it down, you know. And I guess in doing that, you also know how to fix broken, like if something breaks, two plugins are clashing together, you know how to fix it yourself so that it undoes itself, and instead of having to find a different plugin that doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fair.
That's a whole debate in itself.
Yeah. That's a whole debate on its own.
Would you like to talk about that?
Not today, but we'll probably we'll probably get into it more with a different server. With this server, I do want to keep this episode roughly kind of on the shorter end because I do want to make sure that Donnie watches this episode. So
that's true. So the next question, how much longer do you plan to work on the server? And is there plans to pass it down to someone else?
I mean, at this point, she says that she's staying on the server until it dies. She doesn't want to trust anyone else with her baby anymore. And that makes sense.
True.
I mean, she's gone through so much rough history of trusting someone in a merger, trying to trust a different past owner, trying to trust maybe even other people who are just helping her, and it doesn't really work out for her. So it is awesome that she has a mentality that she does want to keep it. Good on her.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's going to be... That's just one of those things where I think that's the best thing to do. I think that would be the smartest idea, the smartest option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, down the road. Just don't do it. When you're burned out, don't hold on. I mean, don't keep doing it, you know? Like I said, when you burn out, just let it burn out. I wouldn't hold on to server and you not want to ever get on it yourself again and be kind of bland to getting on. Like, I gotta work on the server, like it's a chore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to do that. And then we asked, there's a couple questions here left, but this one is, would you start merch? Would you want to start merch?
She just simply said that if there was a bigger audience, maybe. And I see why. She did bring up the fact at some point in the interview that she wanted to make her own logo, which I think would look awesome on merch. A server that sells their own logo on merch, means they're proud. But I also think that, you know, with an RP server, you could put tons of little nods or even quotes on a t-shirt and it would be freaking awesome. Like, I would love to see, you know, a shirt that has all the player heads and like below them is like a name and like where they live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that kind of little nod kind of thing. But I mean, other than that, I mean, there's so many little different merch ideas that I definitely have for the server that if they did do merch, it would be it would be done right.
So this is the last question.
Woo!
And this is Emerald's favorite question.
It is
an answer that she has ever had, and he keeps saying because he loved it so much. So the question is, what message do you want to send out for us to say on our podcast? Go ahead.
Quoted from Donnie. Anybody that plays any game is to remember who you play with. That is a very good gaming motto, at least, to live by. Because we are so very fast and interactive with different people these days on Minecraft or really any video game, and we never really take the time to actually sit down and play with players, get to know people.
Yeah.
It's very rare these days now because we get told, there's so many different, different problems with trying to actually, use, meet people online. And, back when it was 2008, we could do that. Back when it was even just 2012, we could do that. But once it started hitting 2016, when people try to take it and make it a bad thing to meet random people online, I mean, we don't really get to know and really remember who we play with. And it's sad. So that
That's
message of anybody that plays any games, just remember who you play with. Get to know your players, y'all. Get to know who you are actually playing with. Make some friends. Make relationships. People date online all the time. Do something to where you're always going to remember the people you play with, and you're always going to look back on it as if it was you living back on high school.
Nothing I can add to that.
And with that,
that's all there is.
We have our closing remarks. What's some last things you want to say about CreeperCraft?
I think everything that she's doing is good, and I hope that she will continue in her success, that she will grow her server, and I hope when I return that I see everything flourishing, and everything is just running like clockwork.
I think, and my last closing remark is that you're pushing yourself in the right direction. You're taking your server on the very right path, and I really hope you do not lose your compassion, your determination, and your willingness to work on this server, because I want to come back to this server, even after this podcast. I want to just come back to the server and really grow with the community and really, know the fact that this server is definitely something that I would go and run and tell my mom about, and tell my brother about, and tell friends about, that even if they don't play Minecraft anymore, it would persuade them back into Minecraft. And that is where the server, I think, is heading, and I really wish you best of luck in the rest of your server creation.
And I want to add that, don't be afraid to ask for help. And if you need us, we would be more than happy to help you. If you really need another pair of hands, I can speak for... I know that, Emerald himself... I'm going to stroke your ego for a minute. This is a smart guy right here. He's very good with plugin stuff. He's good with organization of Discords and stuff like that. He may be able to even do a website for you, manage all that. He can do a little bit of everything on that end of things. So honestly, if you need help with that stuff, you should definitely ask. And I know I'm just throwing you out there, Emerald, but
I don't mind.
I don't know if you'd really mind either. I don't think I would mind if you need me to be watching chat, moderating it, or if you'd like for me to help be, like I said, be your little, your test dummy. If you need me to test something for you, like she did have me test in a maze, which I totally didn't cheat out of, and run over the top of. Yeah. But in a gamer style, I find the way around the thing the puzzle game that I'm supposed to solve. Anyway, but hey, that's just me. Hey, but if you need help, if you need help from anyone, don't be afraid to ask, and be careful. Just always be careful, of course. Because now this is the kind of stuff that happens if you're not careful. You really need to get some staff and really help push yourself forward And you can do it. I believe in you. You got this already. You've got everything in its right track, like Emerald said. So, just keep doing it. Keep going. Doing good.
And my last thing is that this is for the community, and this is my very last thing. If we for some reason never seem to pop in the server again for some reason, we are going to miss you guys, and we're definitely going to keep y'all as an example of what other communities we should be looking for, especially if we don't even have our own server. I want to say that this was probably the best community that we've had, even though we've only known y'all for about a week and a half. We definitely would love to come back in this community on a revisited episode, because I think we're planning to do that in the future and see where this server has gone. And we will definitely miss y'all if for some reason we're not back, and we'll definitely love being with y'all if we are.
Oh, we will. We will be back.
All right, and I guess that makes it. I would like to thank everyone for listening or watching the Exploring the Community podcast. For those who don't know, after the day we go live, we do rerun it on Twitch the next day, and the day after that, we make sure that it gets uploaded to all of your streaming platforms appropriately, including YouTube, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Spreaker, and SoundCloud. We do want to thank Donnie, any other staff, and all players of the community for really giving us a tour on what it is like to be on CreeperCraftMC. And we do also want to just thank all the helpful players that helped us throughout the time of us being here. So again, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode with another server, whether it be good, bad, or weird. We just know we're just going to see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.